I'd like to go back to an issue that really came to the forefront while I was on the Labor and Industry Committee a few sessions ago, and your predecessors were in place as well. And that was the issue where we were grappling with the whole IBM debacle and the modernization and the unemployment compensation call centers. And I can remember that time being a very difficult, to say the least, time for both us in the legislature as well as your department. We've not heard a great deal over the past year, and a lot of times my feeling is no news is good news, but as a member of the Appropriations Committee, I would like some news on how we're doing with that, kind of recovering our costs, recovering our time that we lost, if that's even possible, and where we're at with that current project. I did see in your testimony you said something about being in the middle of it would be what you would consider. I kind of wanted to know what that
right. Well,
middle
let me
was like.
be very clear that we will not make any comments on the IBM situation that's currently in litigation. So that anything I say is not going to reflect what's going on there. I will talk about the progress we're making in our benefits modernization IT program. The reason, you're correct, sometimes when you don't hear anything, that makes me a little nervous. I always think no news is no news. You don't know if it's good or bad. But I think the fact that you have not heard a lot about BenMod is indicative of the fact that we are very comfortable with the progress we're making with the current vendor. We have been very pleased with the product that we have received. We had a demonstration about 2 weeks ago on the progress that's being made. There were some representatives from the governor's office there. We have a legislative or a BenMod advisory committee that some legislators are on. We provide regular reports to that committee and to the governor's office on how we're going. We fully anticipate that we will meet the go-live date in October of this year, and we fully anticipate that we will come in under budget or on budget.
And how about the workers? I know, and if this question steps on that, you can go back. But the workers were also, I remember, coming in front of us as a committee and also coming into all of our offices. They were very concerned. They were, weren't sure how they were going to use the product. I assume they've been happy as well.
They have.
We have a number of employees that sit on the advisory committee and a number of employees that are actively working with the system. On the advisory committee, we have presented multiple presentations to show how the function is working, how the product is working, how things are moving along. The last few times there was some concerns about maybe 14, 16 months ago. Those concerns have gone away. Our employees are very, very engaged in all the different situations. Our employees that sit on the advisory committee also are very satisfied with the progress that we're making and the progress of the product.
And I'm glad to hear that, because at the time, one of the complaints that we heard, not just as a committee, but like I said, we had I'm sure every one of us had members in our offices saying, we just don't think management's listening to us. We don't think our concerns are getting there. So the fact that they're on the advisory committee, obviously that should help greatly. I noticed.
Could I add one other piece? We have weekly calls with the vendor that Bob and I are on. From OA, we have Deputy Secretary McMillan, who's on the calls. That we are in constant contact with the vendor, any issues that come up are resolved pretty quickly. So we're right on the schedule that we need to be on, and we're happy.
It sounds like we won't need a second
And to answer your question, our employees are totally engaged and involved in the process. I assure you of that.
Good. On page 9 of your written testimony, you said that part of this modernization process will require regulatory and legislative changes. What are some of those that you're looking at, or what do we still need to do on our end? Because I was not aware that we would need to.
Some of it involves, and Bob, maybe you can help with this, but some of it involves technical changes that would allow us to do certain things that we can do with the new system that we aren't able to do with the current system.
By statute?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that's the short answer, but we can I can get more information on that for you. So.
I would like, if we could have specifically what those would be. I know you have members who are actively looking at this and saying wherever we need to help to kind of right this ship and keep it going in the right direction. If we are right, it would be helpful.
Yeah, I also believe one of the areas that we might need a small technical fix is allowing for electronic filings.
Yeah, things like that.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, gentlemen, both very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.